Okay, almost the last week of school. Getting there. Got one more year left of college and all after August, so getting closer to the end. Getting excited. So this week we had to pick an in-flight emergency that we wanted to do, and I've done a couple of these. So I kind of like to pick up different things just to expand my knowledge on different situations and stuff like that. So I think on the last one I did loss of comm. So on this one I decided to do engine failure in flight. Doesn't happen very often, but to everybody on the outside world that doesn't really have a big knowledge of aviation, everybody thinks if the engine fails, it's the end. And that may be true with bigger planes and stuff like that in commercial airliners, but for us, it's not. It's not really the end. Hopefully, it's not the end, I should say. So, like I said, I did engine failure in flight. So this is a kind of question that I haven't really gotten answered. I have like two different thought processes on it. For the commercial written that I took, it said that if you're at night and you have an engine failure in flight, that you want to land somewhere that's not lighted. And so, if it's when it's dark outside, it's really hard to see below you. So I'm gonna start there. I've been in that situation. It's dark, and you can't see below you. And I've made like right traffic patterns and stuff just because I'm not comfortable and I'm not familiar with the terrain below. And I can see what's down below me. So I made right traffic on one of my landing situations. So. But I feel as though, and my instructors, I've talked with them a little bit about it, a couple different ones, and they say that it's a good idea to be over a lighted highway or somewhere with lights, because then you know at least where you're landing. You don't know what's always below you. It might look like it's flat, but it could be a cliff, and you're about to drop off a cliff, and you have no idea. So, and maybe you can. Hopefully, there's some moon out, and you can see, but that's not every situation. So. I think you want to judge it off that, but at least I know if there's lights around, I can see what I'm landing on, or try and land on a road. Another good thing with that is that there's probably going to be cars on this road if there's lights and stuff, right? So therefore you can get help. If there's no cell reception or something happens and you need medical attention, hopefully somebody will find you. So yeah. So the corrective action, obviously, once you find out you have engine failure in flight. As far as my checklists go, I'm sure every checklist are different, but you're going to want to put the fuel selector in both, fuel shutoff valve on in, and then your mixture full rich, and then you want to crank on your auxiliary fuel pump, because it could just be that your main fuel pump is blocked, or something happened to it. So that's going to be one of your first corrective actions to see if your engine starts. And if your engine starts, great. Keep going on, get the problem fixed at the next airport. If it doesn't, then you have a whole other situation going on. So you're going to want to, pitch for glide. That's your number one thing you always want to do. I'm sorry. Pitch for glide is what you'll do, and then you'll go through that checklist that I just stated there. That's the biggest thing, because if you're dropping down at 150 knots an hour or whatever, then you're going to be into the ground pretty fast. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to call ATC. Hey, ATC, I have an emergency. My engine failed. I'm going to try and land, or maybe they'll give you a better idea on where you think to land to where they think, because they can see a vast overview. And another thing that they're going to do is they're going to tell all these aircraft, hey, maybe if you see this guy out here, you can, direct him, or you tell me where he's at and stuff like that. So the next thing you're going to do is squawk 7700. You're going to, for the emergency descent, you're going to do all the checklists that are in that. Seatbelt secure, seats upright. Your mixture is going to be idle cut off, fuel shut-off valve off. You don't want any fuel that's coming in still, because that could be a fire hazard, right? You don't want to burn it alive. And then you want to decide what landing. If I'm landing on a road, I'm just going to land on the road, right? Just going to do whatever I can to make sure that I'm center lined, I'm not hitting another car, I don't hit power lines. if you're landing in a field or something like this during day, great, sweet, awesome. That's probably the most ideal situation. You're going to want to do a soft field landing, and you're going to want to keep your nose up. For your post-flight, you're going to report it to the NTSB because you had an engine failure in flight, right? So in flight, you got to report, and I'm sure it's going to cause more than $25,000 worth of damage because aircrafts are stupid expensive. Yeah, so weather conditions is another good thing that I put on here. I was wondering, always kind of pack for the cold. You know, if you land and you're safe and stuff like that, and you know, you want to keep those doors closed if it's cold outside. Utah, Montana, Idaho, it's all snowy and stuff. So you want to keep that heat for as long as you can, in case you actually have to go somewhere or do something. You can, or you can just wait. Which is my next point is wait for help. So you're gonna want to wait for help because being on search and rescue myself, I've had a lot of instances where people will get their snowmobile stuck and they'll just start going off and they'll try and get away and try and find help and whatnot. And you know, that might think like that's the ideal situation. I'm never gonna make it out of this if I don't get help. But most of the time, especially in aviation, you got all this stuff around you helping you. People are gonna know where you're at. You're going to want to stay with that aircraft because they're going to find the aircraft faster than they're going to find this little speck of a human being hiding in a tree or going through a tree line or something like that. So you're going to want to wait at that aircraft. So yeah, I think that's it. So thanks.